enjoy your 15 minutes.
Oh, thank you.
Alrighty then. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's your girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, the reunion. Let's get right into this video because, as you know, they said the reunion was going to give, but it didn't really give until towards the end. It didn't give until the end because it was just basically like going through the contestants, you know, the finalists, all that. Finalists coming back home to London, whatever, and you know, all that. Next thing you know, it went to the Molly and Zachariah segment. Basically, that whole situation. They met their families, you know, it's going well for them. Whole graphies things at the reunion, which was the French kiss from Mehdi, the Tyreek egging the guys on during Casa Amor. It was basically Molly saying she was happy that Kady left. And I think there was something with Ella. Oh, it was Ella and Whitney with the whole selfish situation. So they had to vote for who, like which Grafty award should be won. So then next thing you know, Maya was like, okay, let's go talk to Catherine Elam Scott. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so, like, what are we doing? Like, Catherine Elam Scott, because everybody knows that Catherine and Elam are not together anymore. So Maya asked about Elam and Catherine, and they basically said, like, you know, they're not together anymore. It was very, like, I think it was Sam who was asking the questions. Sam was like, you know, when did this happen? And Catherine was like, oh, it was very early on, da-da-da-da. So then he points to Scott. So then they're talking about the DMs and whatnot, like what's going on with them. And they were very hush-hush, but it is very, very telling that there's a lot of rekindling happening going on.
I believe. Do you want to start? Oh, it's an essay! It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end!
No, we can't give you guys too much, but no, we talk like we're on good terms. Yeah, do you want to add?
Yeah, no, we're in a good place with it. Like, yeah, there's
The eyes, we saw the eyes. We saw the eyes! And, Ellen, look, I mean, mate, so I'm so sorry, you're just sat here, mate.
You can just tell with their eyes, like they even point out the, you know, the eye contact, what's going on with their eyes. The eyes are very telling. And, you know, once you see Scott and Catherine look at each other, they're not saying nothing. You can tell they're rekindling their relationship. They're rekindling, you know, they're laughing, kiki, whatever. But yeah, they're rekindling. And I think Elam was like, oh, he gives her his blessing for them to rekindle. But it was like, even though it was very awkward because you got Elam sitting right next to them, you know, we can tell that Scott and Catherine are rekindling the relationship. And yeah, that was very much one of the highlights of the reunion. You know, Scott and Catherine. Basically, they're still making noise later on. Like I said, they're probably in the whole rekindling thing, despite what he said during his After Sun segment and whatnot. Yeah, give it some time. By reunion time, they're rekindling. They can't say too much because, obviously, they can't say too much. So then, we see Ella and Tyreek, and, you know, basically they went race car driving for their first date, you know. They're going well as boyfriend and girlfriend. They came up to talk to Maya Jama, and you know, it's going well for them. Everything's going well. They met their friends, you know, their mothers met and whatnot. And you know, they showed like some of their clips fighting throughout the whole entire season, like their bumps in the road, whatever. And you know, I guess they're over it. They're cool, whatever. So then we see Whitney and Lockham. And Whitney and Lockham, their sisters met, and then Whitney's friends and Lockham's friend met as well. So it was like I think Whitney met Lockham's friends and whatnot and get to know him. So it was very, you know, very sweet between Whitney and Lockham. It was very sweet. You know, Lockham literally leads in conversations because I guess Whitney is very shy. you know, Lockham is basically taking charge. You know, he speaks for the both of them. But later on, Maya Jama basically asks Mehdi in the crowd about, you know, I guess if he talked to Whitney yet or whatever. And Whitney's like, yeah, we're cool, you know, but she's like, oh, is there anything going to happen with Mehdi, or like, I guess a conversation or something like that, or friendship or whatever. And Whitney's just like, we're cool, like, that's it, we're cool.
Have you guys had any catch up since you've been out? Have you spoken at all? Not yet? No. It's all good vibes though, isn't it?
Yeah.
All love?
On my side it is, yeah.
Yeah? Wait. All love?
I don't care.
You don't care? Okay. At all?
No, he's fine, like, we're cool, but I feel like when you're on Love Island, you have to speak to everyone anyway. Like, coupled up doesn't mean you're coupled up.
Okay.
We had a great time together, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a relationship. It's not deep.
Okay, so no friendship at all, or?
Yeah, we're cool.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, we're cool.
Alright.
We're cool.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just
Yeah.
cool. Alright, lovely. I mean, can't argue with that.
Like, why you keep on asking, like, you know, she was just trying to tell Maya, like, please stop. Because Maya was, like, asking, you know, Mehdi, and I'm like, Whitney is in a, like, a very close relationship with Lockham, which might lead to boyfriend and girlfriend, and then, you know, she keep on putting her hand up to signal marriage sooner or later. And you're asking about Mehdi, who was not good to Whitney at all inside the villa, let alone now he's trying to, like, still speak to her. Speak to her for what? I mean, I know after she left the villa, she got her 411 from her family. You know, if she didn't even get to watch the episodes yet, her family filled her in on what was going on or with Mehdi, or how Mehdi was, you know, treating her in the villa, whatever. So she don't need Mehdi in her life. So she was just like, yeah, we're cool, but I don't think she wants anything to do with him. She like, nah. And she had to let Maya know, like, please stop. So then they goes to the crowd. They talk to Mitchell, Abby, and Ella B. Ella B and Mitchell are still exclusive, so they're still doing what they're doing. He said that his only regret was basically how he went about the Ella B and you know, Abby's situation. Next thing you know, Abby was like, you know, in the villa. She basically had a strong connection with Mitchell and Ella B. And then Ella B piped up and be like, oh, it's giving bitter. So that's when this, like, the reunion started getting, like, a little interesting, because, you know, Ella B and Abby are, like, going a little, you know, having a little tiff over this whole Mitchell situation. And she was like, oh, this is my opinion. And, you know, and she's basically saying, like, you know, she had a better connection with Mitchell than Ella B does. And then she also goes on to say that, you know, she has people in her DMs with blue tick marks, and then she basically calls over to Jess and says, like, oh, your little brother too. So I don't know what's going on over there, but I guess he's in Abby's DMs too. Okay. So then, next you know, we see Jess and Sammy, basically, they had a little barbecue with their families. They met, whatever, you know, had a good time. I think he met Jess's friends, which he basically didn't answer any of his Jess's friends' questions. But I mean, at the end of the day, Jess, you know, is with her guy. She likes it, whatever. I don't know. So then Maya Jama was talking to them and basically, you know, talking about their journey, you know, whatever. Everybody's basically rooting for Jess. You know, they're like, oh, Sammy's like a changed man now, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay, here's what it is. They're the winners, da-da-da-da. It is what it is. You know, they're going strong. I mean, it's only been a week or less. Like, you got to give it some time, really. So then, they're like, Maya and everybody's in the crowd, and they're like talking because Molly won the Grafty for, you know, the whole Kady situation, whatever. So, you know, beforehand, when it was in their time to speak, you know, they brought Kady up to the chair, and, you know, Kady was like, oh, I wish them the best, da-da-da-da. And she was telling Molly that she didn't like hearing Molly say, like, you know, she was glad that Kady was out the villa. Like, you know, that was hard, like, bad to say or whatever, hard to hear. And she was talking about the whole bikini situation. And then, you know, Molly, like, apologized. She's like, it was it wasn't for a good place or whatever, da-da-da. And then it was hard to hear. And then she said, like, I wasn't the problem, it was Zach. So that's what she said, like, right in at the reunion. So then when Molly won the Grafty, Zachariah decided to speak up, and he was like, oh, you know, people like to have our names in our mouth, and, you know, we don't even talk about you, like, you always have our names in your mouth, and da-da-da-da, basically talking to Kady. So he was basically, like, letting know Kady, like, really chatting about them all the time, and, like, they never once mentioned Kady.
He's been doing the most, and I just want to say, our name's in your mouth. Your name isn't in our mouth.
Ask the question.
And I feel like I speak for the both of us. I feel like I speak from the both of us when we say, we wish you nothing but happiness and good health.
So Kady was like, oh, it's just on the podcast. It's on the podcast. You know, they asked the questions. It's on the podcast. So then, you know, she was like, oh, enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. And, you know, he was like, oh, I'm not even going to respond to that. So they're like really beefing at the reunion, like, you know, going back and forth. So then, the thing about the whole 15 minutes of fame, like, she would have ate if this was her first time on Love Island, but this is your second time, Kady. Like, why are you back after 8 seasons, quote unquote 8 years, almost, give or take? Like, why are you back? You would have ate that 15 minutes of fame to Zachariah if this wasn't your second time on Love Island. But they were really beefing, whatever. So basically after that, it was basically reunion over. They had Becky Hill or whatever, and that was it. That was basically what it was giving. I think that we saw a Montel and Leah segment, and basically they were asking if they were together or not, and they were like, they're not together. And basically she was talking about how the Casa Amor situation, she didn't trust him, and da-da-da-da. And he was trying to be vague about it, but Leo was just like, you know, there's a little bit more to the story about the whole situation. Kady and Uzi are still together. Mal and Medi, single people. They're talking about the little, I guess, their little podcast segments or their little interview segments or whatever, like jokes and rumors. Basically, that is about it. Like, there was nobody else to really mention a part of the reunion. It wasn't that interesting. You know, I think a lot of people who still have unresolved issues, like Medi and Whitney, are not going to be cool. Zach and Kady are not going to be cool. I don't know. Scott, Mitchell, you know, they don't really like Kady like that. So, you know, they're kind of like cool off of Kady. So, but other than that, that was the season 10 reunion. Like I said, Scott and Catherine are going to rekindle the relationship. We'll be seeing it sooner or later down the line, like how they progress, because they're very much, like, everybody's really, you know, loving them together. And if they really do get together, the promotions, whatever that they will get from being in a couple, it's going to come. Like, out of everybody in the finalists, they're still the talk of the town. So that's very interesting. But anyway, guys, this was season 10 of Love Island. It was, you know, a decent season. It started out very high, very much dropped down. I tried to pick up a little bit, but then it just, like, that was it, you know? Love Island USA season 5, so I'll still be doing reviews on that. Check me out over there. On my other videos. But anyway, guys, until next time, if you guys like the video, comment down below and your thoughts, comments, concerns, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Peace.